Alright, hello and welcome to my tour of the Interactive Media Program's facilities. My name is James Moralia, and today I'll be walking you through my my walkthrough tour. So I'd like to start off with the main area. So I measured every wall inside of the building to the point, like to the centimeter. It's pretty easy to translate centimeters to Unreal units, so I use centimeters. And every wall, surface, ceiling, everything was measured using a measuring stick. That took a few weeks. And after that, I took pictures of the ceiling, the ground, and some of the walls, as you can see back there. That wood texture back there is actually a picture of the wood in real life. And I just kind of made this as realistic as I possibly could. And so I also added a few interactive elements that I'll go through in just a second. But first of all, I'd like to talk about how I made this sign over here. So if you look at the sign, it looks a lot like the sign would in real life, aside from a few blotchy areas. And that's because I used a process called photogrammetry. Now if you come over here, this is one of the interactive elements. You come over here, you come close to this little button on the ground, a little pop-up bubble will come up, and it'll explain to you just how photogrammetry works. Now, for the sake of time, I won't pause and stay here for too long, because I would like to get some other things. But basically, I took a lot of pictures of this in real life using this dolly here, and this program automatically generated a 3D model out of it, which is really nice. And then I kind of edited it, reduced the size of it, all this other stuff using Maya 3D. So yeah, I did this with a few other things around the building, and we can go ahead and take a walk around. As you can see, there are little buttons all over the ground. Like this button here tells you a little bit about the program itself. Right here, if I can get it to work. There you go. That tells you a little bit about the program itself. These benches were made using photogrammetry. That picture was made using photogrammetry. This here was made using photogrammetry. So all these things were made using photogrammetry, and it was a pretty extensive process, but in the end I think it paid off. So we go down here a little bit. This is Maggie David Copeland's office over here, the little lounge area. I got these assets online. They're not actually photogrammetry, just to save a little bit of time. Come over here. This picture is made using photogrammetry. Right here. And we come over here. Come just a little bit closer. Here's some of the professors. This picture over here was made using photogrammetry. This is actually my favorite because you could, if you get close enough to it, you could actually read some of the words right here on that little plate. So yeah, we'll go ahead and come over here. The doors open. All the doors open. We come in here. This is one of the classrooms. I'll actually go ahead and explain one of the more interactive elements of this room. You come over here to this podium, which was made using photogrammetry. Now, it may look ugly, but I kept it here for a reason. This is one of the shortcomings of photogrammetry. It doesn't like reflective objects. Photogrammetry doesn't. And so when you take a reflective object like a monitor and you try to create a photogrammetric model of it, if you take pictures of something from different angles, different images will show up on the screen in real life. And photogrammetry doesn't really like that. It likes consistency because it tries to find common pixels across the models to generate the 3D model. So yeah, I had to fix that. There were some, you can tell there's a little bit of fixing that I did. But this was just an example. So if you come right here, it says press A or X to pull down the projector. I'll pull down the projector and it'll start to come down actually. So now if we go over here, we can see an interview from Copeland.
Hi, my name is David Copeland. I'm the Graduate Program Director in the School of
And
Communications.
we won't watch this.
Let me tell you just a little bit about the courses
but we won't watch the whole thing.
Media Master's
The sound,
program.
I can hear sound,
We've
but
designed
I'm
our
not sure if it's coming
courses to be set up in a way
to
that students take a body of required
But
courses.
yeah, we won't watch
After
the whole
that,
thing because
they
it's 5
take
minutes. I did the
a
recording.
selection of elective courses.
All right, now we'll
So
go down this
the
hallway
required courses are set up to give all.
and into this room. This door opens as well, so we can walk right in. And this is the other classroom, the computer lab classroom. If we walk down here, well, not walk, but teleport, there you'll notice there's another button to press. So we've pressed that button. Another thing will come down, and this is actually an interview with Professor Walsh, talking about how technology is used in the classrooms.
My name is Brian Walsh, and
again,
I teach
the audio is
coding
playing
in the
through
interactive media
My
program.
speakers on my computer,
And we
not in the
use
headset.
technology in the
sure if
classroom a
it's
lot,
going through recording,
most obviously
but
with
it's
the
not a huge deal
Crestron and
because we're going to go
the
ahead
distribution
and
of
skip ahead. That's a pretty
the
exciting
instructor's screen everywhere so everybody can see the
For
code.
the sake of time, we'll go ahead and move away. Excuse me, Mr. Door. And we'll go down here real quick. I'd like to show you a couple things. The first thing is this video here. I actually have a video that I didn't make. Kelsey Lane from our class made this. So you press this button, it'll play the iMedia live Capstone Showcase promotional video. Made just for the which is pretty cool. The iMedia lab. This button here shows some of the equipment. And so if we kind of turn around and come over here, you see there's a little button right here. These are all 3D assets that I found online. I really like how they look. And then if you come over here and you press this button, it says press to see interview. So you press that and an interview shows up on the computer. Now this is actually just a flat surface.
I'm Tony Kreider,
I
professor of
pasted it on
physics
there.
at
It's not
Elon
actually
University.
the monitor.
The innovation lab here in the Elon
That's Tony Kreider.
iMedia department has
So we can go ahead and
two
turn around
high-end gaming
and
PCs,
make our
primarily
way-
because they have
This
iMedia Live.
iMedia Live.
iMedia Live.
all that
iMedia Live. iMedia Live.
and we'll come down the hallway. Down the hallway.
or with one of our Oculus virtual
Down the
reality
hallway.
headsets.
Now these pictures, this picture here and several of the pictures in there,
In my iMedia
are not
class,
photogrammetry.
virtual environments, we spend
These
time both
pictures
reading papers
I
about
took in real life. I cropped them and I sized them up for the wall based on the dimensions of the picture in real life, and I just kind of put it on there. So there are several pictures like that all around here. We can go ahead and look in that area before we continue too much further. But before that, I'd like to say, in each of these editing bays, all the editing bays have opening doors. If you go inside of any of the editing bays, you come over here and you press this button. Gary Swingby was a student. He's an alumni of the iMedia program, and his capstone was on. He did a huge amount of promotional videos and interviews about the iMedia program alumni, and he shared 3 of them with me. And so one of them is on this computer, one of them is on the computer over there, and one of them is in the computer inside the kitchen that I have set up. So we can go ahead and move over that way. So open that door, come down the hallway. Here's the kitchen and lounging area. And here, these right here, and right here, right here, right here, these are all pictures that I made using that same process that I used on that other one over there. Not photogrammetry, but just kind of resizing actual pictures of them. And if we come over to this computer, I'll show you this interview in a second, towards the end. But this is the kitchen area. All of the walls and stuff were sized correctly. These were sized. Everything in here was just, I spent so much time on that. But I'm very proud of it. I think the results speak for themselves. This probably was the hardest part of all the measurements, to be honest. Right here. This area here. Just because there's so many awkward angles and sides, and it was just a nightmare trying to fix these measurements to match the measurements of the ceiling, because it's not just this. The width here, once you measure everything, things start to come into place really fluidly, unless there's a mishap, and then you have to find the mishap and solve it. And so this is just a collection of a bunch of different walls and sides, and having them all come together with maybe one or two mistakes ruins the whole thing. So you had to account for that. And you come over here, these are the couches, and the tables over here. So we turn around, all the editing bays you can open, just like that. And the one glitch that I have with this build is whenever you press this button, the button kind of flies in the computer screen, but it's a small thing. So if you press this, and we'll go ahead and finish the video off by watching this.
My name is Jeffrey Williamson, and I am the graphic designer and project manager here at French West Vaughn in downtown Raleigh. Professional Shoes user interface course used to be first semester.